Update 2. I was told you're uninvited from the family reunion. We don't want you here. By my sister. I wrote back, great, then I'm taking my barbecue and the drinks with me, and the next morning. By the afternoon, my yard was ready, the smoker was running low and slow, the drinks were chilling, and the playlist was queued up. I took a step back, surveying everything, the tables decked out with checkered tablecloths, the stack of plates and utensils, the coolers within easy reach. This was it. I was ready. Julia might have thought she could pull the rug out from under me, but she was about to find out just how wrong she was. And the best part? I didn't even have to lift a finger to sabotage her reunion. Word had already started to spread, and from what I heard through Peter and a few other relatives, her plans were unraveling fast. The first message from Peter came through around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just as I was checking on the smoker. Dude, this reunion is a disaster, I chuckled, flipping a rack of ribs. Another text popped up a few minutes later. The food's a mess. They've got burnt burgers and overcooked chicken. No drinks except warm soda. Everyone's complaining. It wasn't hard to imagine Julia had never cooked more than boxed mac and cheese in her life, and I could just picture her trying to coordinate a full barbecue. I let out a slow, satisfied breath, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. Then came the photos, blurry shots of a lopsided buffet table with sad-looking hot dogs and a pile of charred burgers, a few selfies from cousins making exaggerated sad faces, captioned with things like "wish you were here." My phone buzzed again. Peter was on a roll, someone forgot the ice, and there's no music. Aunt Marie is trying to play something on her phone, but it's just her 80s playlist on loop. I nearly dropped the tongs laughing. My backyard was alive with sizzling meat, the clink of ice in glasses, and classic rock filling the air. Meanwhile, the reunion sounded like a scene out of a sad sitcom. Then I got a call. It was Peter. I picked up, wiping my hands on a towel. "Hey man," I said, trying to keep my voice casual. "Dude, you're missing it," Peter said, half laughing. "Julia is losing her mind. She tried to act like everything's fine, but people are leaving, they're heading to your place. She's furious." I glanced at my yard, now dotted with folding chairs, groups of friends and family chatting and sipping drinks, and kids running around playing tag. "Tell them they're welcome," I said with a grin. "The real party's here." Peter's laugh echoed through the phone. "You're a legend, man. We'll see you soon." I hung up and took a long sip from my lemonade, feeling a deep, satisfying calm settle over me. The best revenge wasn't loud or dramatic, it was watching everything I'd built flourish while her plan fell apart. Not long after Peter's call, the first wave of families started trickling into my backyard. They arrived with awkward smiles, offering plates of sides and desserts as if they needed to apologize for being there. I greeted them with a warm grin and a wave of the tongs, flipping the ribs to let them see the caramelized crust forming on the meat. "You made the right choice," I said with a wink, handing a beer to one of my cousins. "The reunion's here now." Within an hour, my backyard was buzzing with life. Folding chairs filled up, and the smell of barbecue drifted over the fence, probably taunting Julia from across town. Peter showed up with a couple of his buddies, carrying trays of hastily packed up food from the failed reunion, stale chips, a couple of unopened packs of hot dogs. "We figure we'd bring these for the kids to roast on the fire pit later," Peter joked. "Not that anyone's going to want them after tasting your ribs." I laughed, clapped him on the back, and handed him a plate piled high with smoked brisket and cornbread. The mood was light, almost celebratory. People shared stories about past reunions, swapped jokes, and marveled at how much better this impromptu gathering was than Julia's failed attempt. I caught snippets of conversations where family members compared the dry chicken over there with the juicy ribs here, the awkward silences with the lively banter now filling the air. I wasn't trying to rub it in, not overly, but every smile, every compliment, every moment of laughter was a quiet personal victory. Julia might have tried to exclude me, but she underestimated just how much of the reunion spirit depended on me, not just the food, but the heart of it. It wasn't long before Julia's carefully constructed facade cracked. I was in the middle of slicing a rack of ribs, the meat pulling apart in tender, juicy strands, when my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a text from Peter. "Brace yourself. Julia is on her way." I couldn't help but grin. I had half expected her to stay stubbornly put at her own flop of a reunion, but apparently, she couldn't resist the pull of everyone abandoning her. Sure enough, not 15 minutes later, her car pulled up along the curb. She stepped out, her face flushed, her usual poised expression replaced by thinly veiled panic. She was wearing one of those summery, flowy dresses she favored for family events, but her hair was frizzed and her makeup had melted in the afternoon heat. I watched from my spot by the smoker, tongs in one hand, beer in the other, as she marched up the driveway. Behind her, her husband Mark trudged along, trying to keep up. A few of the kids playing near the porch scattered, sensing the storm about to hit. "Daniel," she snapped as soon as she reached the backyard gate. "What is this?" I turned slowly, deliberately, letting the sizzle of the smoker punctuate the pause. "Looks like a family gathering," I said with an easy smile. Her eyes darted around, taking in the folding chairs packed with family, the music playing from a speaker on the porch, the coolers brimming with drinks, and most of all, the plates piled high with real, mouth-watering food. "You're undermining me," she hissed, stepping closer. "I told you not to come." I set down the tongs with exaggerated care and leaned against the smoker. "Actually, you told me I was uninvited, so I took my barbecue and drinks and made other plans. Can't blame me if the family prefers a proper party too. What was it? Overcooked chicken and warm soda." A couple of nearby relatives tried to hide their smirks, turning away and pretending to check their phones. Mark cleared his throat, murmuring something about not wanting to make a scene. Julia shot him a glare that would have frozen a lesser man in place. "Do you have any idea how this looks?" she demanded, her voice rising. "Everyone left our reunion. It's chaos over there. People are blaming me. I sipped my beer and shrugged. Well, I can't imagine why. I was just following your instructions. You didn't want me there, remember?